a Thursday. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, we are live in Los Angeles. iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Urban Meyer, Greg Jennings, Chris Sims, Greg Cosell stops by again today. And Joy Taylor is joining me. I know for a lot of people, they consider this the dead time for sports talk radio in America. I love coming to work on days like this. Today, our prep usually lasts 2.5 hours. We were about an hour 45 in. We had it all done. We got so many topics today. Joy, how are you?
I'm great. Good morning.
Good morning. Joy today looks like an elegant movie star in 1969.
Well, we are in Hollywood, Colin.
Yeah, 1967. Marlene Dietrich is dominating the airwaves.
I'm going for Dorothy Dandridge.
You're drive people to the theater. You look great.
Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Great to have you in. You know, you ever work with anybody? Or you ever had a boss? Ever been in somebody in your life and you're like, oh, they're loopy, they're crazy. And then all of a sudden, years later, you're like, maybe they were a lot smarter than I thought. I know we've made fun. People have, the media has, made fun of Jerry Jones. You ever think maybe, have you watched their drafts in the last 7-8 years? Maybe Dallas is a little smarter than you think. They do win their division 2 of the last 3 years. When's the last time, outside of the Romo injured year, they were bad? Maybe Jerry Jones, he did hire Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. Maybe Jerry's a little smarter than you think, and his son's a little smarter than you think. 2 days ago, I said this, Joy and I talked about this, that Jerry Jones just put on a cowboy hat and a cowboy shirt, sat under a nice shaded tree, and delivered an address saying basically, you know, running backs don't win Super Bowls. And he said it with that Texas charm and that homey Texas slang. And you're like, man, Jerry's making a real impact here. Well, Stephen Jones did it yesterday, his son. Stephen Jones came out and he talked to the media. But I want you to listen to what he said because he's not talking to the media. Oh, I mean, the media is who he's addressing, but he's talking to other Cowboy players. Here it is, talking about Zeke.
We want to be fair. We want our players to feel good about their contract. But at the same time, we don't want to do things that are out of line because we can't afford to be that way. Whether it's Dak, whether it's Amari, whether it's Zeke, they all understand we've got a whole group of young players coming behind them that want to be Dallas Cowboys and want to stay here. And we save money, whether it's with Dak, whether it's with Zeke, whether it's with Amari. It's not saving Jerry and I a dollar. It's just money that's going to go to another player.
Oh, that's so smart. Stephen Jones is saying, that guy in Cabo, he's taking your money, not taking ours. He's not talking to the media there. This is not Zeke against the Cowboy owners. Jerry and Stephen have pushed it, moved the argument to Zeke is taking your money. So smart. Now it's not ownership against young star player. It's Zeke. If he takes more money, he's just taking money out of your pocket and your family's pocket, and you guys are all great. And there is an advantage to having that sort of, I got to be honest, that whole Texas twang thing makes everything sound a little softer. Somebody with a Texas twang could walk up to you and say, you're fired, and we love you here, but you just couldn't get the job done, and we love you here in Dallas. But you're not getting the job done. I'm going to have to fire you, and I feel bad for your family and your children. And but we're going to have to let you go. And by the end of it, you're like, yeah, you didn't do a good enough job. You deserve to be fired. It's that Texas twang thing. And Stephen and Jerry just go on, we'd love to pay you. It's like the opposite of a British accent. Like the British accent is harsh. You know, you can say anything with a British accent, and it sounds smart, right? Like you got that, of course, Paw Patrol is the greatest show of all time. If you don't watch Nickelodeon, you don't understand the world is flat. It's complete rubbish. And you believe it. There's something about Stephen and Jerry and the Texas twang, and they make you feel like they love you and won't put your arms around you, and they want you to be Cowboys. And boy, they're good at it. Boy, they're good at it. They're really smart at it. And they turn this Zeke thing. This could implode a locker room, right? You got to pay Zeke. You got to pay the star. And they just shift it over. We love him. We think he's a good old Cowboy, but he takes money from this Cowboy. We can't give it to this other Cowboy we like. It's so smart. It's so thoughtful. It's so brilliant that this is no longer Zeke against management. It's Zeke taking money from other Cowboy players. They have done. By the way, Jane Slater was on our show yesterday. You know, everybody keeps saying it's going to get done, but Jane Slater on our show yesterday, Cowboy beat reporter, said, not so fast.
I reached out this morning. The text back I got on was close, nope. And I said, what is the sticking point then? Are we talking guarantees? Are we talking extensions, Joy? The pushback I got was everything. Now, my follow-up question was, okay, well, do we anticipate we're going to see him show up in Oxnard on August 6th, this arbitrary deadline we've been hearing about, how it affects him being a restricted free agent after this year? The response was, we don't know.
Remember this about Jerry and Stephen Jones. The NFL is owned, except Mark Davis of the Raiders, mostly by billionaires. And yet the billionaires let the Jones family lead them on most issues. Billionaires don't choose the dumb guys in the room to lead them. The Cowboys know what they're doing. Jerry and Stephen know what they're doing. And what they're doing is telling all those Cowboy players, you're all young and great, and we want to be in business with all of you forever. That guy in Cabo down there having fun in the surf, he's just taking your money. Really smart. Let me shift to this. So lists can be arbitrary, opinion-based, not really fact-based, but lists are fun, especially when a list is comprised of opinions from people in an industry. So NFL players every year vote on the top 100 players in the NFL. NFL players do. And they voted this year in the top 100 players. And there are 15 quarterbacks that made the list. Now, they didn't go 1 through 15. But here is the order in which NFL players who watch film, who watch quarterbacks, who see their strengths, who see their weaknesses, who listen to their coaches tell them this quarterback can do this, he can't do this. Here is the order of the quarterbacks according to players. Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers 4, Phillip Rivers, Andrew Luck. Number 7, Russell Wilson. 8, Jared Goff. Big Ben. Baker Mayfield's the 10th best. Deshaun Watson, Matt Ryan. Kirk Cousins, 13. Cam Newton, 14. Carson Wentz, injured a lot, is the 15th and last quarterback selected by players in the top 100 list. It is mostly reasonable. It is not outrageous. Baker's a little higher than I would put him. Kirk Cousins is a little higher than I would put him. I would put Derek Carr somewhere in that list, in my opinion. But players are telling you, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, and Kirk Cousins, better than Cam. Players watch film. Players hear coaches. Players face him over and over. I do not hate Cam Newton. I was just right and early on Cam Newton. Is that players, and players, by the way, generally like super athletic stars. Players sometimes don't get the system guy, but players generally, they like their Antonio Brown. They like their OBJ. Players like NBA, guys love Westbrook. Steph can't get any credit for players. They love Westbrook. Cam's the kind of guy people would like. Big, handsome, rock star. He got his, he's got music. He's more than just a player. You think players would like him. Nope. Kirk Cousins is ahead of him. Jared Goff's ahead of him. Baker Mayfield, baby, ahead of him. I don't hate Cam Newton. I never hated Russell Westbrook. I can hate components and part of their game. Is that after all these years, 7 years of excuses, once again, I'm being told Cam doesn't have this, Cam doesn't have that, Cam doesn't have this. Deshaun Watson doesn't have an offensive line. And he's significantly higher than Cam Newton. Stop with the excuses. Nobody is a victim of their reputation. It is all talk show host, dentist, attorney, teacher, quarterback earned. 7 years in, this is what Cam is, according to other NFL players. And it's just about where I have him. I have him ahead of Kirk Cousins, by the way. I have him ahead of Kirk Cousins. That I do. I think I also have him ahead of Baker Mayfield. I may not. That's a close one. I watched them play last year. I thought Baker was better on that Sunday. All right. Great having you in today. Isn't it amazing about, and I say this lovingly, isn't it amazing about what a Texas twang does? I'm listening to Stephen Jones. You almost feel guilty being paid as a Cowboy. We love all you. We want to pay all. You all want to be Cowboy. I'm like, I want to take a pay cut to play for this team.
I mean, you gotta use the gifts you're given, Colin.
You really do. I mean, just the gift of that Jones family, little Texas draw.
You got that Southern charm.
That's what they call it. They call it Southern charm.
Use it to your advantage.
Use it to your advantage. That's what they call it, by the way. Good get on that. It's called Southern charm. And boy, do the Jones boys know how to work it. Coming up next, there's a reason comedies don't get made much in Hollywood anymore. And it's the same reason the Cowboys are reluctant to pay Zeke exactly what he wants. We'll talk about that coming up. Right in the middle of summer. I mean, August 1st today? So I count Labor Day weekend as summer. So we got about 5 weekends now of just great weather. I know it's a little hot maybe in certain parts, but primarily Denver West, Northeast. It'll start cooling down in a couple of weeks. Middle of summer. About time to finally complete your last will and living trust. Okay, as we head into the busier time of the year, the fall, vacations end. Perfect time to do National Make-A-Will Month at LegalZoom. Get stuff wrapped up before your business gets really busy starting in September, budgets in October, November, December, January. Those are busy months for all businesses. 18 years, LegalZoom has developed a straightforward way to protect the people you care about the most, family and assets. Make things easier for the people you care about most. Check out LegalZoom's Last Will and Living Trust estate plans now. It is National Make-A-Will Month at LegalZoom.com. Your life's going to meet legal. LegalZoom.com. The code is Colin, C-O-L-I-N, for special savings.